Ho, 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 JJ Meets World listeners. We're going to take a deep dive into some holiday traditions, and I want you to watch a movie that I love. So sit back, relax, enjoy this, and get an HBO Max account before it becomes HBO Max /Paramount/Netflix. And by the way, if you'd like to help support our podcast, visit jjmeetsworld.com where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some killer swag at our merch shop, or click the link to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
1, 2, 3, 4. JJ Gordon, sort of like that Indiana Jones, in that he's always sniffing out his next adventure. Yes, he is. He's always interviewing guests so he can have them on his show and they can talk about pop culture, arts, and leisure. JJ has his flag unfurled and he likes his french fries curled, and he's fun and then he twirls as he goes to meet the world. He will march into the rain even if his ankle sprained. Take a peek inside his brain. This podcast is called JJ Meets World.
Tucker, do you have a Christmas movie that you've maybe watched the most? It doesn't have to be your favorite, but what's the one that you've watched the most?
Ooh. Oh, I mean, it's tough, but I think it's probably Home Alone.
Home Alone. Good choice.
I think. Yeah, I bet I've watched that one more than any other Christmas. Give me a few minutes, I'll probably think of something else. There's so many I love. I think Home Alone is what I've seen the most.
Do you know watching Home Alone and Home Alone 2 back to back is like the greatest 3 hours of your day?
So good. In fact, it's like Home Alone 2 is one of those sequels that I don't think it's better than the first, but I think it's right up there. Right? It's like it has its own personality, it does its own thing, and it's brilliant.
So I was watching, I made my Christmas card, which I wish I need to show you because Jill and I do something weird for our Christmas card every year. There's a year that we did it in 3D and then sent 3D glasses for everyone. So it's the blue and the red, which, by the way, thank God for the people on YouTube who give Photoshop tutorials. Right? They figured everything out so I don't have to. It's awesome. They're like, all right, so what you're going to do is you're going to make one layer and you're going to put all like in cyan and you're going to, move it left 4 pixels and then the blue and you move it's perfect. But this year, since I went to Disney World I went to Orlando twice in 1 year, I decided let's use some of our ride photos because, as you know, I don't care for rides, and when they take a photo, I don't look very good. So,
but you go on them all the time still.
You know what? When I this last trip to Universal, I was so proud of myself. I went on every ride. I didn't chicken out of anything.
I don't like rides at all.
Really?
Almost. Yeah, the ones that are meant to make your stomach lurch. I don't like those.
I had a great time on those this time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the Hulk coaster was a lot of fun. I mean, it's Hulk in name only. Yeah. I even think it's green anymore. But when you get off a ride nowadays, so everything's app based. Right, so it knows your app. It uses location services. It knows when you get on a ride, and so you can automatically see your photo. Gone are the days of where you have to go and sit and wait in front of a big screen of televisions and be like, "Oh yeah, we're photo number 19."
That'll be $12,000, please.
Right, exactly. Very expensive. Now I did buy some of them, but I didn't buy all of them. And they really want you. They make you buy a pass now, where they're like, "Hey, for $80." You can have every photo of every ride you're on today.
That's smart.
Right. And if you're a family, why not, right?
Yeah.
So
my guess is like they weren't making a huge profit on the photos anymore.
Right.
Right? And it was more like just let people do whatever.
Right. And nowadays, like, it's so cheap with digital photography. Yeah. Like, why not? So my Christmas card this year is a bunch of photos that I just screenshot that say like Disney Photo Plus. Like over chunks of us. And so I included on our Christmas photo, please don't sue us, Disney or Universal. So some of them are like you have to look behind the watermark to see us. But I really am proud of it. I think it turned out really well. Where is that going with that? Christmas card. So I'm working on our Christmas card and we decided to watch Home Alone. And I have the Home Alone Lego set. Have you seen that Lego set?
There's a Lego set?
Oh, dude.
So it's of his house.
It's the McAllister house, and it's the whole outside, and then you twist it open, and it's got booby traps and everything on the inside.
Shit. Does it come with the neighbor with the shovel?
It does.
Oh, my God.
It does. It comes with so much stuff. Like, it's even got, like, a little tiny Little Nero's pizza box. Like, it's got everything.
Does it have the zip line?
Yeah, because it's got the treehouse too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it have the tarantula?
It does have the tarantula.
Oh my God.
It even has the OK Plumbing truck that they use.
I was obsessed with Home Alone, and I was dumb. So, like, I tried setting Home Alone traps one time in the summer, and I would put water on the steps.
Thinking you would freeze over?
They'll slip. My mom was like, Tugger, stop placing poorly created traps around the house.
Do you know what I think is interesting is when Home Alone came out, why didn't they make a Three Stooges movie right then? You know, like maybe it's because I think some of them were still alive and maybe it was sacrilegious. But like, wouldn't that have been the time when all of us were watching these bumbling physical comedians?
Let me put it. I like what's his, I mean, besides Joe Pesci, what's the other guy's name?
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern.
By the way, his autobiography, which I am halfway listening to right now, freaking amazing.
I prefer the physical comedy of Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern to the Three Stooges.
Oh, because they were great. They were fantastic.
So good.
I also love the Scream, the Daniel Stern Scream. In fact, Jill and I were watching Home Alone 2, and when he touches the knobs and it starts getting electrocuted, he's like, and then flash, and then his hair's all out, and then it cuts back again, and it's just his skeleton. That joke will never stop hitting with me, ever.
That guy sells a brick to the face like no one's business. He really does.
He also does a cool thing where, like, there's the sound of a tool chest falling down the stairs. Like, what he does with his nose. Also, this is something I caught eventually. Like, Joe Pesci at one point opens up at Duncan's toy chest, like this, you know, the cash register, and he goes like Merry Christmas, Harry. And then Marv does, and he goes, Happy Hanukkah, Marv. And I was like, you know, I bet if you were like a young Jewish kid, like, that feels good, right? Because this thing's all about Christmas, but then they finally, like, you know, throw something else in there.
Not to get us off too far track, but Macaulay Culkin was quoted recently as saying he actually wouldn't be opposed to a return to Home Alone.
His idea is horrible. Did you hear what his idea is?
No, I didn't.
He has a kid and he gets locked out of the house and he ends up being the person who has to go through all the booby traps.
I think that's a great idea.
It's a horrible idea.
Okay.
It's a horrible idea.
Okay.
Because I don't want Kevin to be the one who's getting trapped. I want, you know what I want? I want Liam Neeson to kidnap Kevin McAllister's family, and then adult Kevin McAllister has to booby trap something to stop Liam Neeson. I would watch that in a heartbeat. Do I want more Home Alone? Absolutely. Do I want it where Kevin is having to do it? No. Come on.
Anyways, so I think my most watched Christmas movie is
Home Alone. Oh, I was going to say, so I got the Home Alone Lego set. It's an 18-plus Lego set because it's so difficult and, like, big. But I also, for the first time ever, got... People make little tiny LED diodes that you can use to light up Lego sets. They're not Lego official. They're like a third-party company. And I finally got one of those sets for these. It increased the difficulty of building that thing about 1 million times, but it looks so good lit up. Like, it... And I will not be taking this down for Christmas. Like, I will be leaving this up forever. Anyway, what I wanted to get into was... As a kid, my least favorite Christmas movie was A Christmas Story.
Same.
Right?
I felt so bad for the kid. It seemed harsh.
Right? Me
but
too.
My parents loved it.
Right. And here's the thing. When was the last time you watched it? You should watch it again. And let me tell you why. That movie is made for nostalgia for being a kid, not for when you are a kid.
Got it.
Because the whole point of the story is it's Ralphie as an adult narrating, remembering what it was like when as a kid, when all you wanted was this one gift and these things that could distract. And you know, like when he gets his, Orphan Annie decoder ring as part of it. And then it's just like, drink your Ovaltine. And he's like, it's an advertisement. What? And he goes, but he didn't let that distract me from getting the Red Ryder BB gun. But here's the thing. There's a moment that gets me every time I watch that movie now as an adult, which is this. We think that the dad is a grump, right? And he's a horrible, absentee father. He's not. He's the one who gets Ralphie the gun for Christmas, and he hides it behind the thing. He goes, oh, I think there's one more gift back there. And the mom's like, what is that? And he goes, oh, don't worry. And he went out and got that Red Ryder BB gun, knowing that his wife wasn't going to get it, and watching his son figure out how to put the BBs in it and stuff. Like he's into it, right? He's excited about going to get the tree. He takes him to go see the parade. Like, those parents are kind and loving parents. There's even a moment where when Ralphie gets into a big fight, his mom like covers for him. And he has a line where he goes, "My mother and I's relationship changed forever that day." And as an adult watching that thing, it hits different. Just in this way of like, first of all, I've talked about it on this podcast before, but there's a very niche genre. My sister loves movies that take place in one day or one night. I think J.J. Gordon's like genre is movies about parents trying to make a memory for their children, and everything goes wrong. All the vacation movies, right? Chevy Chase. The whole point of Christmas Vacation is him trying to create this great family Christmas because he thinks that that's what he had as a kid, and he didn't.
Return of the Jedi.
Yes, exactly, right? Trying to make great memories for the children. So, this is what I really want to get into.
The Omen. Yeah.
Like the devil's trying to make for his bastard son? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. So, I mean, you could say the New Testament. You want to get into it? So, okay. This is what I want to get into. So, A Christmas Story comes out in like 1983. And the movie it makes money, but it's a flop. Like, it's not a beloved classic right off the bat. It doesn't really become a beloved classic until it starts playing on television, specifically places like TNT that would do the 24-hour marathon.
I think that's where I even saw it for the first time.
Right, probably. And so, like, you probably didn't even see it at the very beginning. You probably caught, like, 30 minutes in the middle. But, like, the iconic thing of Santa pushing his foot to push Ralphie down the slide was a terrifying image because the color quality that they chose to make it look like it was the 50s and, like, what they did with the color palette in that movie always made it look grimy and gross. And I detested that as a kid.
There's that scene, the kid getting his tongue stuck to the pole, the bully getting beaten up. Even that like really kind of traumatized me a bit. What is it, a icicle or whatever that?
That's the lie he makes.
The lie he makes up.
He shoots the BB gun and it ricochets and hits knocks his glasses off, and he's looking for them and he steps on them and crunches them.
That's right.
And he comes up with the lie that an icicle fell, which even that, like, you're like, oh, that kid shouldn't lie, but like you are rooting for him because the whole movie, you'll shoot your eye out, and then it happens.
But I also was too young to understand why Mom was upset about the lamp.
Yes,
I didn't understand the lamp. I was like, why does the dad have a leg lamp?
Yep.
Why is Mom upset about it? Like just not being able to capture it.
I'm telling you, as an adult watching that movie means something different, right? There's even a sweet part where the parents are sitting drinking like each a glass of port, just looking at the Christmas tree lit up like in the dark. And as an adult, I do that same thing. Like the other night, I came home late and the Christmas tree was still on, and I just kind of sat there and I looked at it for a little bit and I took in the majesty of the Christmas tree. So if you haven't seen A Christmas Story in a while, you should see it, because one of the best sequels, in my opinion, of all time is A Christmas Story Christmas, which came out, I believe, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. It stars almost the entire original cast of A Christmas Story, minus the parents as two of them. And Peter Billingsley, who played the little boy, plays the adult version of Ralphie. And I'm going to set up what happens in the beginning of this movie and why you need to watch it. Adult Ralphie is now married and lives in Chicago with his wife and two kids. And at the beginning of the movie, you find out that Ralphie wants to be a writer. And he's taken a whole year off to sell this manuscript that he's written that is over 1,000 pages long. And it's sci-fi. And this is set in the early 80s. You know,
okay,
so it's
sure. Right.
It is 30. You know, like the thing is, like the movie's made like 40 years after the original, and so he's, you know, now he's like 44 years old.
In the 80s is when you and I grew up.
Yeah, bingo. So it's supposed, you know, like he's the actual age he's supposed to be right now, and now he narrates his own piece of it, and things are not going well, and it's the week before Christmas, and January 1st is when he's got to go back and get a real job, and because their savings has dwindled, and now they, it's done. And his wife is very supportive of him, and his kids are, kind of cute, precocious kids, and they're asking questions about Santa, and Ralphie's mom and dad are going to come and visit them in Chicago for Christmas. They come to them because it sounds like Ralphie doesn't like to go back to Homan, Indiana, where he's from. And he gets a call. And you only hear his side of the call. And it's, "Hi, Mom." "Okay. Where are you now?" "Okay." And he hangs up the phone. And I'm starting to get teary-eyed just thinking, it's so well acted in that moment. And you find out that his dad has passed a week before Christmas. And he packs up his family and they drive to Homan to help with the arrangements. His younger brother, Randy, is in India at the time because he's a successful businessman. And so he's, away. Even that guy plays himself. You see them on the phone a couple times. And so even that kid, they're like, "I can't put my arms down," is playing himself. It's a miracle because most of these people gave up acting. The guys who played his buddies gave up acting, and somehow they convinced all these people to come back in their adult lives and play this. Also, this is really important. I need to tell you this. This is not A Christmas Story 2. There is a god-awful sequel that came out in the early 2000s called A Christmas Story 2 that is about Ralphie trying to get a car when he's 17. That's what he wants for Christmas. That movie is not just hot garbage. It's hot garbage filled with rat feces. Horrible.
Is it canon?
It's... No, but it is made by the same company who own the rights to it.
Okay.
So, it's weird because Gene Shepard, the guy who wrote this, in fact, we'll talk about Gene Shepard here in a second. They made a movie that stars Kieran Culkin called A Summer Story about Ralphie and all of his friends during the summer, and Charles Grodin plays the dad, Mary Steenburgen plays the mom. And so they've used other things from Gene Shepard and the stories of him growing up to turn into movies that just don't hit. For example, Gene Shepard, the book that A Christmas Story comes from is called In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, which is a great title, right? Just a great title. So
Dave Ramsey would love that title.
He would. And so it's got all the stuff you love from A Christmas Story, but A Christmas Story 2 is garbage. That's why you have to watch A Christmas Story Christmas, which is on HBO. It came out a couple years ago.
Yep, the Christmas
actually
thing.
stars Peter Billingsley. So he goes home, and it's the same. The house is there. You can actually they Airbnb it. You can stay in the Christmas Story house. That's a real house. And then the inside, of course, are sets. Now, the mom, I believe she's passed as well, the woman who played the mom. And so they got Julie Haggerty to play the mom. Julie Haggerty, who you might know from the movie Airplane, amongst other things, is fantastic in this role. She's so good. And she actually tempers down, because she plays ditzy so well. But she does a really good job tempering it down. And she doesn't play this "Oh, I'm so sad and lost." She plays this woman who, she's excited when her son comes home, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, Mom." She was like, I know, but your dad wouldn't want us to associate this with Christmas. He'd want us to still have Christmas." And the mom talks about how it was his favorite time. And, Ralphie remembers all these great times. And so Ralphie vows, he makes this promise to himself and his family that they will have a magical Christmas. And therein, my friends, begins the plot of Ralphie trying to put together a Christmas. And no matter what he does, something seems to go wrong with it. And they still do the mini fantasies that they have, when he's fighting off the bandits in the first one, they have that in this now, but they've done it as a fistful of snowballs instead. The neighbors, the redneck neighbors, their grandson Delbert gets involved with, Ralphie's kids. There's bullies. It is so incredibly well done, and just start to finish. First of all, it'll make you cry. like the way he interacts with his brother and the way he manipulates his brother is so perfect. And Peter Billingsley is a pretty dang good actor. And then it ends the same way the other one does, with that like toy piano version of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" while the snow is falling outside the house. The end credits of A Christmas Story are some of the best Christmas credits that you're ever going to see in any movie. Screw you, Jingle All the Way. You won't even touch it with this. They also, in my personal opinion, A Christmas Story is one of those rare movies that does snow better than almost anything else.
Oh, wow.
So, for example,
That's coming from a Fargo kid.
it is. If you watch Jingle All the Way, that's clearly filmed at the end of March. And so they've created a couple snowdrifts. But when they're running through downtown Minneapolis and it's not packed with snow everywhere and people are just kind of like hanging outside in sweaters, you're like, no.
I always think of that scene from Sopranos when Johnny Sack's running away from the FBI and he face plants into the snow. When they pull him out and it's stuck to his face, I'm like, that's snow.
Yeah, that's snow.
That's snow.
Right?
It doesn't just dust off like it's a bunch of sand.
Right. I think that snow is probably one of the most difficult things because when you think about it, lighting a scene for Hollywood increases heat, right? And so even if you are trying to maintain like natural lighting, snow's not forgiving. Also, when they film something in snow, if you have to film it again, you now have to go and brush that snow back to create it. You know, again, it's not like sand where you can't just like kind of comb it back. But they do snow really well in the first one. Like clearly they filmed it in January or something that. And they do snow pretty well in this one too, like showing kind of the like, you know, what it means to be icy and cold. And like you see scenes where like at no point is anyone ever walking around like in a tank top because they're all wearing sweaters and long johns and stuff like that. A Christmas Story Christmas. I even made this pitch on my radio show. Why aren't more people watching this? This has got so much heart and represents Christmas so incredibly well because it is about family. This is a coming home story. This is about like how your friends change, but they never really change, right? Like they still have this piece of the past.
Do you remember your most magical Christmas?
My most magical Christmas. I remember a lot of bad Christmases. Those ones stick out. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I do. The Christmas I was in first grade, I had that one thing that I wanted, and I still have it to this day. It still sits in my bedroom. When I was in first grade, we had a teddy bear in the classroom that you could take home. His name was Ted. So like each weekend, one of the kids was sent home with Ted, and then you brought back, and on Monday you told what you did with Ted. And some kids were like, I went to Minneapolis. And like, Ted went to Minneapolis? What? And all I wanted was one of those teddy bears, and I still have it. So that gift would have been from 1990. So it turns 35 years old. It's my oldest possession at this point, to be honest. So yeah, that would have been, I think that was my most magical Christmas because I remember opening that and everything was, you know, I'm in first grade, so it's the perfect age for it, right? That's also, by the way, the year like Home Alone comes out. And so I remember us going to Home Alone and the line to get into the movie theater was so long and we waited. And they announced like, sorry gang, you know, the 7:15 of Home Alone is sold out and everyone was disappointed. And my dad was like, let's get a ticket to the 9 o'clock and we'll stay up. We'll stay up and, you know, watch this movie. And I think my parents went and got drunk at the Granary. And while Chrissy and I ate mozzarella sticks. And then we went back to the movie theater. And I remember my dad carrying me on his shoulders for whatever reason. My mom carried these two huge pillows because she put them on the chair so my sister and I could, you know, sit up in the theater and see it. And my family never went to movies. I remember maybe 3 movies total that my whole family went to in my entire life. And I remember that being really magical and then getting that gift and just sort of that, you know, I'm in first grade. I'm 6 years old. It's a magical time.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine is probably, I think mine was 1990.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones, right? Yeah, I'm in the first grade or kindergarten. I think I was in kindergarten, so it might have been 89. But we had the VHS camcorder already, and I already loved that thing. And I wanted to catch Santa Claus. And so I said, Dad, can we catch Santa Claus on camera? I don't know why no one ever thinks to do this, Dad. Let's do this. He goes, all right, let's do it. So we set up the camera on a tripod just right in the middle of the house, right? It's not hidden.
Right.
It's just right there in the middle of the house. And he's like, all right. And he pretended to press record before I went to bed. And then me and my sister go to bed. We wake up in the morning, and we see all the presents out, and the camera's still there. And I'm like, Dad, did we get it? And he goes, I don't know. Let's check. And so he, pulls out the tape, puts it in the VCR, presses play, and immediately it's the shot of our living room, and then our dog Scamper is there. And Scamper gets excited because he sees someone off camera, and Santa comes in carrying a Hornbacher's plastic grocery bag. And unfortunately, Santa never turned to the camera, so we never got to see his face. But we knew it was Santa because our dog didn't bark at him, so our dog knew him, right? Mm-hmm. So Santa comes in and he puts down our gifts that I saw right there. I was like, that wasn't there last night. Now it's here now. And he goes and takes a bite out of the cookie and pets Scamper and then walks off. And then the camera stops. And I'm like, we got him.
We got proof.
We got him. I knew it was real. Oh, my God. I knew it was real. And I rode that high for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which was why I was one of the last kids in my grade to know the truth, which we won't speak here.
Uh-huh.
We won't speak it here. But just the fact that I was able to get him on camera, and I'll have to dig, but I think I still have that footage somewhere. I may have that digitized.
You should.
If I can find it, I should put it up for Christmas.
Can I tell you a theory that I have about Santa Claus that I think you might subscribe to? Mm-hmm. Applebee's has more than one waiter, right? Because that's how business works.
Those are
Especially
Applebee's helpers.
Yeah. So what if our idea is wrong? That like when you see a commercial for Applebee's, it shows Karen delivering mozzarella sticks to the table. But at my Applebee's, it's not Karen who delivers them.
Right.
It's another Applebee's waitress. It's not less than. It's the same. They're all doing the same work. And so maybe the problem is that for so many generations, we thought we needed a figurehead for Santa Claus. But Santa Claus is not a person. It is a job. And many people can have the job of Santa Claus. And that is where I can fully say that like Santa Claus exists because there are people out there who are Santa Claus.
Of course he exists. I see him at the mall every year.
Every year. There's no reason why those individuals are not Santa Claus.
I mean, yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it exists in that way that.
Right. Because is someone really going to go through the effort of putting a fake Santa Claus out there?
Bingo.
Let's be honest.
And then it answers the question of like, what's the first question that kids who are doubters say? Like, well, how could he get around the world in all like in one night? And be like,
and I'm like,
you
look,
could
you little
if there
asshole.
were.
Look at right over there. That's fucking Santa right over there.
There's 6 billion people on the planet, and if 1 billion people are working as Santa Claus, they only have to hit 6 houses.
So that I do. Here's the other part that I always think about. Because I was obsessed because of we captured him on tape. Uh-huh. I was obsessed with the idea of like, okay, where does he come from? What are the levels of his powers? What does the workshop actually look like? Right? I wanted to know all these things. When Tim Allen's The Santa Claus came out,
which I think is one of the best depictions of Santa.
Love it.
And then they ruin it in every sequel.
The original's still there. And listen, you at least get the JJ line in the sequel.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
Which I still watch. I showed some children that the other day. I was like, this is Santa Claus saying Merry Christmas to me.
My obsession transferred from Santa Claus to the Elves because of the Elf Liberation Front.
I believe we talked about this last year.
With jetpacks? Uh-huh. I thought that is the coolest thing. You can fly like that with jetpacks. Tinsel is like a thing that opens up anything.
We're the ELFs.
Yeah, the Elf Liberation Front.
Can I get some of that tinsel? That that guy who was driving while inebriated on Christmas?
What's the name? What's the name of the actor who plays Bernard?
David Krumholtz.
He just had a great quote go viral, like a tweet go viral where someone tweeted at him and they said, someday when you're dead, they're going to give you a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's going to be this photo. And it's him as Bernard. And he retweeted and he's like, oh my God, it's true.
Yeah, it won't be for your work in Firefly. Like
Yeah, but it's not. It's definitely not going to be the turn you did in Harold and Kumar.
Kumar. Or actually, he's got a great role in a movie I like called The Ice Storm that's set over Thanksgiving. It's really great. That's where I found out what a key party is in that movie.
Classic Thanksgiving movie.
There's also a scene where Christina Ricci and oh God, what's the actor's name? Oh shoot, he became a big actor. Anyway, she's wearing a Richard Nixon, like a rubber Richard Nixon mask, and then she like takes down her pants and they're like, "I'll show you mine if you show me yours." And then Sigourney Weaver comes in and
What movie is this?
It's called The Ice Storm. Okay. Kevin Kline is in it. It is a crazy great movie. I think, is it an Ang Lee film? I think it is.
No shit.
And it all takes place, and Elijah Wood is in it. This movie is fantastic. It's set in the mid to late 70s, and it is about two houses, like two couples who are friends and their children, and it's Topher Grace plays, not Topher Grace. It's Topher. No, not Topher Grace. Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire plays like an older son who's coming home for Thanksgiving from like college, and it follows them over the course of like 3 days. And Joan Allen plays the mother, like married to Kevin Kline. It is just a phenomenal movie. It's so good. So good. The Ice Storm. Yeah. So, watch that one after you watch A Christmas Story or Christmas Story Christmas.
Wouldn't that be confusing because you're going from a Christmas movie to a Thanksgiving movie?
Well, it's all right because one involves a major ice storm.
Are there any holidays that don't have a stand-up movie devoted to them? Groundhog's Day has a day.
Yep. New Year's Eve
Plenty.
has that. Like, yeah.
Valentine's Day, I'm sure.
So many.
Many.
I think there actually is just a film called Valentine's Day.
Is there an April Fool's Day one? The Tucker's birthday one?
Yeah, well, there's a horror movie called April Fool's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, also Tucker's birthday.
Also Tucker's birthday. Also my Uncle Mike's birthday.
So. Actually, I have a theory that like I don't know why some groups are not making a Christmas. Hallmark makes the bulk of their money during the Christmas season by just churning out Christmas movie after Christmas movie. Jingle All the Way is not a good movie, and yet here we are, more like almost 30 years later, still watching that movie, and it makes money every year, right? Why? It's like any musician. Why aren't you putting out a Christmas album? Because it's going to get plays. It'll pay for itself. And then, infinitus, it'll continually make money. Like for eons.
That sounds like a disease for your balls.
I also think that if you made a Thanksgiving song, like a song about celebrating Thanksgiving, you would make money every year because people are looking for things. Do you know Jingle Bells is a Thanksgiving song?
What?
Yeah, Jingle Bells is not a song that was made.
Cite your source.
I will.
I want to know what this is about.
Here, hold on.
And also, there was a Thanksgiving song. It was written by Adam Sandler.
Right, which is fine, and it's all about turkey.
And that's probably why he's wealthy, is that song.
Do you think that's the one?
It's definitely not the Netflix movies.
Actually, let me tell you, Hubie Halloween. Don't sleep on Hubie Halloween. That one is fun. He's got a thermos, like a Swiss Army thermos. That's really good. Okay, hold on. Allow me to pull this up.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is.
Okay, hold on. Wait.
I mean, it sounds non-committal.
Although it has no original connection to Christmas, it became associated with winter and Christmas in the 1860s and 1870s. It was a popular parlor song because originally it was called One Horse Open Sleigh. And it was composed James Lord Pierpont. Oh boy. Originally copyrighted the song with the name One Horse Open Sleigh in September 16th, 1857. It was intended as a drinking song. It didn't become a Christmas song until decades after it was first performed. Originally associated with Medford, Massachusetts, which is the birthplace of Jingle Bells, claims it's where the song was from, and that it was originally sung as a Thanksgiving carol.
Thanksgiving Carol.
Yeah.
We need to bring back Halloween Carol.
Because over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. You know, like I think that there were a lot of
That's
things.
not Jingle
No,
Bells.
I'm making a point about other songs. There are other songs that were that were meant for like that holiday, but that got pushed away because like that over the river and through the woods they use in a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and I remember watching as a kid being like, that's for Christmas. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh. Because anytime you say sleigh, it's Christmas, right? But it's not. That was a mode of transportation for them back then. And it was a crappy one. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us continue to produce new episodes each week, visit jjmeetsworld.com, where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some swag at the merch shop, or follow our link to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the sites the cool kids are using these days. JJ Meets World is produced every week by Tucker Lucas. You can find out more about Tucker's work by visiting moonbasemaria.com. If you want to get in touch with your host with the most, check out linebenders.com, where you can find direct contact info for JJ or booking information. I remember my worst Christmas was the year that I trapped Santa, and then I had to go to prison.